happening in the accounting office is like the back of the house at a restaurant, right? There's recipes that are out there, and everybody understands what's supposed to be happening, and you want that dish to be delivered exactly the way it's supposed to, so that your front of the house gets to, have the good experience for the customer. And the reality with what's happening in the accounting, the dealership back of the house, is that the recipe is never clear.
Today, I'm joined by Jen Speerbrecher, Vice President at Veramatic. Most dealers assume their financials are mostly accurate or at least close enough. But what's the cost if they're not? Jen breaks down why manual accounting is no longer sustainable for modern margins, the fundamental difference between a DMS and a source of truth, and how to transition your team from manual entry to high-speed automation. A big thank you to our sponsors for making this episode possible, LotLinks. And of course, Veramatic. And now, let's get into the show. Jen Speerbrecher on the CDG podcast. Jen, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Going to have a conversation on some back office topics, which we don't cover often on the podcast. And I think it's an important topic. Growing up in the industry, the thing I always heard was back office better be tight, because if the back office isn't tight, the whole ship sinks.
Exactly.
So with that, I actually want to kick you off with a bit of a hot take that came from you,
okay.
And I want to understand your full thought here. So I was reading, as I always do my pre-show prep. I saw that there was one line that stood out to me where you said that controllers are publishing financials knowing they're not 100% accurate. Right? This is discretionarily, like publishing financials on a monthly basis, but there's no real way around it.
Yeah.
True or false? I mean, how true is this really, or is this a hyperbole?
I think it's true. And I think there's variations of the levels of how accurate somebody thinks their financial statement is. Automotive accounting is one of the most difficult things out there. You kind of go, well, it's just accounting. How hard could it be? It is very, very intricate. And unfortunately, there's not automotive accounting classes that you take, right? You can go and you can become a CPA, but even CPAs who are looking at our books struggle to understand automotive accounting. That's how complex it is.
I do have one more question on the accuracy part, because again, you're very close to this information. What percentage of dealers who you speak with are dealing with inaccuracy? And the follow-up to that is, like, how inaccurate are we talking about? Is this an inaccuracy that, like, I don't care? Because it's just, there's going to be embedded inaccuracy in everything, and it's just, cost of doing business, or is this very material? I want to understand your thoughts there.
So really, Yossi, you're asking about accuracy, and I think that it's definitely something that every single controller and CFO care about, because without accuracy, there's 1,000 things that can go wrong downstream. And the reality is, it's not a human problem that we're trying to solve. It's absolutely a systems problem that we're trying to solve. Your DMS doesn't care if what you're putting into it is accurate. And God bless the DMSs, but it's just not what they were set up to do. There is inaccuracy in every single thing that we do. That's just the nature of the beast. Think about, while the accounting office is the one who's dealing with posting the transactional data, they're getting that from everybody else in the dealership, for whom accounting is not their forte. So absolutely 100%, we are all dealing with inaccuracies. Then when we're talking about, we're not using technology and we're doing things manually, or even at a hybrid of manual, we're making mistakes because we're human, right? We enter something on the keyboard and we fat finger a control number and it's wrong. To what level do we care? I've always taken the approach that a penny is a penny and you better go find it, because a penny 5 times is 5 cents. Like, it just adds up. And the next thing you know, you're writing off $100 here, $10,000 there. And that's not small money. When we're talking about the razor thin margins that dealerships are living off of these days, every penny counts, and you better account for every penny. The reason that we talk about all of these inaccuracies and the reason that we see them is when you think about what a dealership accounting office is experiencing, okay, they're dealing with factory reports, they're dealing with banking reports, they're dealing with F&I. Every single thing that they get is from a different data source, right? They're not just getting everything from a Napa store where it's all the same. The factory reports are obnoxious. They come in looking as if you owe the OEM money, but they owe you the money, right? And they don't care to change that for you. They're there to get what they're going to get from you. And again, tribal knowledge, you have to understand what each of these things is doing. And the OEMs love to throw new stuff at you every single month. And that's not even talking about the banking and the F&I forms and the service department, what's happening in there, and the parts department. And so accounting offices are dealing with this huge number of data sources, none of which are the same, none of which we're going to make the same entry off of ever. Sometimes they're in Excel, sometimes they're PDF, sometimes you get them mailed and you have to deal with it that way.
That's a very good answer. Now explain, you had this one quote, which I read prior to the podcast, and I wrote this down as well because I wanted to ask you about it, which was your DMS is a system of record. It's not a system of truth.
Yeah.
This to me seems like the core part of the conversation here. How do you fix this? First of all, yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Fully agree with that statement. So Yossi, really think about it this way. A lot of what's happening in the accounting office is like the back of the house at a restaurant, right? There's recipes that are out there and everybody understands what's supposed to be happening. And you want that dish to be delivered exactly the way it's supposed to so that your front of the house gets to, have the good experience for the customer. And the reality with what's happening in the accounting, the dealership back of the house is that the recipe is never clear. The ingredients change every single time they go to sit down and look at that recipe. The people at the front of the house, the GMs and the dealer principals of the world, think that it's just magic that's happening back there. And they don't necessarily care what's happening because that's what they're getting paid to do. But one of the things that is a absolute result of trying to find and follow those recipes that exist for automotive accounting is that you get a net result. And what you're losing within that process of creating that dish, if you will, is you're losing dollars. You're paying people to do the same thing multiple times. You're hoping that you're paying them to find the mistakes that they made, that they know that they made, and correct them. It affects your absolute bottom line. And it really makes a difference when you're stopping those things and getting that clear, concise recipe and dish every single time. And then, oh, by the way, every single department has external tools that help them do their job better, right? Sales has all sorts of tools that help them sell and track and just be able to do all of the things that they have to manage within their day to day. These tools don't really exist for the accounting department, right? The accounting department has largely been ignored.
Okay, I mean, you've got my attention. So explain to me, I understand the source of truth part, and I was asking you about how material the inaccuracy is. I was trying to really understand, how big of numbers are we talking about? But what is the core problem that you say you're solving for dealers? Like when you work with dealers and you implement this source of truth next to their DMS, right? You're not replacing their DMS. You're simply a source of truth next to their DMS. What is the core problem you're solving for them, right? Like what's the value proposition? Why do they spend their time to do this?
So really what we hear from our dealers is you are saving me time on both the front end. I no longer have to manually print and hand code and hand enter all of these things, but you're saving me time on the back end where I then don't have to go cross my fingers and hope that I find the error that was made, right? I think when we talk about inaccuracy, really the things that pop out are the things that are easy to find. We know to look for them. We're talking about true inaccuracies. It's the things that you just never find. There's things buried in financial statements that you may never know about because you're not trained to look for them. And again, bringing technology in to sit next to your DMS, you train that technology one time to do the thing that it's supposed to do every single time. And there will be no variations unless something changes and we come back and we retrain that technology. And so part of what we solve for at Veramatic is we take all of those sources and we really turn it into a single source of truth.
This episode is brought to you by LotLinks. What if you had a strategist that could actually look at your inventory, your pricing, your market, and real shopper behavior and then tell you exactly what to do next. That's LotGPT. It's the industry's first AI-powered inventory strategist built specifically for car dealers. It analyzes your VIN-level data and surfaces which vehicles are at risk, where the opportunity is in your market, and what actions you should take. VIN by VIN. No digging through reports, no guesswork. And the best part, it's free for dealers. Just head to lotlinks.com/LotGPT and request access or click the link in the show notes below. So basically, what you're saying to me is that parts department is able to track their parts. Body shop is able to track their supplies. But what happens is when we're consolidating everything in accounting office, this is where the breakage happens and we start getting inaccuracy. Yeah. And so naturally, my next question to that is, okay, I am a GM now. I'm a controller or I'm a dealer principal. I acknowledge that I have inaccuracies in my back office and that my team spends lots of time and resources trying to fix this and make sure that things are precise. How do I actually do it?
You're always going to struggle to gain accuracy when we are talking about humans being involved. And so one of the greatest things that Veramatic does for our clients is really removes the human thought process, if you will, out of what am I doing with this document? How do I have to code this parts invoice? Or what am I doing with this F&I remittance? I have to remember what account this goes to, and I have to go remember what control number it goes to, and then go look up the right control number. When a computer is processing that for you, based on various different points of important reference, the computer's going to get it right, and it's going to do it faster than an employee can. And really, that's the how, right? Is that you use the tools that are available to automotive accounting to help them process all of those things. You gain accuracy, you get time back, you have happier employees by doing it.
So given you know so many controllers, I know you're partnered with over 600 rooftops. You personally have experience in this world. What do you find as the best performing controllers? What are they doing differently? Or what are they just simply the best at?
I even just had a conversation with one today, right? Where I was working with a client today, and really her feedback was, if I don't use the tools that are available to me, I'm never going to get out of this hole that I have. But also getting away from the manual side of accounting. You don't have to do everything manually anymore. Use your people in a different way than we have really probably for the last 30 years in this industry. And I think really what makes somebody a strong controller is understanding that you're going to have to change what you've been doing in order to grow and become a much more functional controller. Somebody who's like, hey, this is the way I've always done this, and this is the way I'm going to continue to do this for the rest of my career. That's not a good person for that team.
You know, Jen, I put this in the bucket of unsexy parts of the dealership that have deep-rooted issues that need to be solved. How has it been as you've seen this grow in the industry and more dealers adopt your technology or this type of technology in general within their dealership? What has been the impact? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a case of I had no idea that this was really a problem, because a lot of what we hear is folks kind of going, okay, but I've solved that. I do a power post or I manipulate data and I get it where I need it to be. And then all of a sudden you're 90 days in and you're using these reports and you're like, oh my gosh, I was actually able to close my month in 2 days where before it took me 4 days. So, really truly gaining efficiencies, gaining confidence in the numbers that they're putting forward to their general managers and their dealer principals for those financial statements that they're submitting. Having happier folks, right? If I don't have to be at the office until 11 o'clock the first 4 days of the month, I'm a much happier camper than if I'm working my tail off that late every single night. To then still not really know exactly what I'm doing. What we've heard is that it brings to light that it was a much bigger problem than they realized they had in the first place. Mm-hmm. And that they feel like when they're looking at their numbers, when they're doing their schedule cleaning, when they're doing their financial statement verification, they have gained confidence in those numbers because they know it's just getting done correctly. And they also have time to dig into those things that maybe they haven't had the opportunity to dig into before. So they're unearthing other problems that have just kind of been silently sitting in the corner.
And Jen, who do you find is driving this type of change in dealerships nowadays? Is it more the GM and the dealer principal who are thinking about more systematizing and the controllers are maybe, a bit more reluctant, or vice versa?
I think it's a good mix, right? You have some really tech forward, tech savvy general managers who see that there's tools out there that haven't existed before and they want to engage with those. But I really think that the controllers are the ones who have kind of gone, gosh, something's got to change. Something's got to get better than what we have had for the last 30 years. And so you ask about reluctance, and I think nothing really can kind of highlight that better than my own personal story. I have been in automotive industry for about 30 years prior to being at Veramatic, and I started as an accounts payable clerk, really worked my way up. I've sat at all of the seats, was most recently running a consolidated accounting office for a 35 dealership group. And I actually got approached by Veramatic to be a beta client. And I pretty much said right out of the gate, I don't need that. We've got this stuff dialed. We're power posting. I've spent hours of my time training my team how to use Excel and be super savvy with it. And I had a CFO who I adore, who really challenged me and was like, well, what about parts invoices? Could you automate? You're not automating parts invoices. You should see if you could use this to automate parts invoices. And I very reluctantly said, okay, I'm not going to throw a bunch of time at this, but sure, I'll see if I can solve it. And then once the report was built, I spent about 3 months trying to prove that it was going to break every part of my accounting when it came to this parts department. And I ultimately couldn't find a single error. And that's really what made me go, they have something here, right? This is actually pretty amazing. And I want to be a part of bringing this to the masses because I firmly believe that this is a tool that's a need, not a want. You need this in order to be a functioning accounting department.
Well said. Jen Speerbrecher, Veramatic. Jen, thanks so much for coming on pod.
Thanks for having us. Good to chat with you.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Please give the podcast a rating, consider subscribing to the show, and check the show notes for links to what we talked about. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.